Oh my gosh. This feels really weird because I've not done this for months, years. I can't actually remember what the last video is that I even posted online. Let me just look actually while we're here. Just 1 second, everyone. So the last video I posted was just before Christmas last year, where me and Georgia went Christmas shopping at Bicester Village. So since then, so much has changed. Like, I may as well be a different person because I don't even know where to start. So, as you know, basically, I was living in Cheltenham for 5 years with Gareth, because when me and Gareth got together, he was living and working in Cheltenham. So it made sense that when I finished uni, I would move there because I didn't have an established career. So obviously I moved there, found myself a job in a nursery where I was a manager because I had just graduated from uni, so that was sort of in line with what I was doing then. Went into various other jobs and ended up in finance. So when I went to work in finance, it was in the same company that Gareth was working for, and I was there for about 4 years, and I can honestly tell you it was the worst decision of my life to go and work in finance. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying nobody should work in finance because it's a horrible sector. I think it was just unfortunate that, one, me and the way that I like to work and operate doesn't work in an office environment, and also I think it was unfortunate with the way that the company was run and the things that were done. It just did not agree with me at all. So not long after working in finance, I started to see a complete difference in myself, and I was a lot more withdrawn. I was a lot more irritable. I used to cry for no reason, very sad, and it quickly came to light that I was struggling. So I reached out to my doctor at the time and we spoke about how I was feeling, and I was actually diagnosed with generalized anxiety and depression first of all. So during that time, I was signed off of work for about 4 months, where I had cognitive behavioural therapy. I went through so many different emotions and feelings, and I was speaking to a counsellor face to face, and then it turned into online, and I was able to just get out everything that I've withheld for years and years, and it felt good. So at the time of when I went off work the first time, I had stepped into like a new management role, and I think it tipped me over the edge a bit because I wasn't supported in the way that I was promised I would be. So when I went back to work, I went to do a different role, and I think one thing mounted up and led to another, and I was signed off again maybe a year or two later. But this time when I was signed off, I think it's possibly the worst few months of my entire life. I was having severe panic attacks which were lasting 3 hours. So if you've never had a panic attack before, you're lucky. But also, when you go through the panic attack, it's so mentally and physically draining that you're exhausted afterwards, but you're also exhausted for like 2 days after. So I used to refer to it as like the hangover, the panic attack hangover. So I was also then diagnosed with panic disorder, and after months and months of me trying to get everything under control myself, with my doctor's support, I was put onto antidepressants. So I wanted to talk about this first on my sort of introduction and back to YouTube, because it's really important that people discuss how they feel. So many people don't discuss how they feel, and then get worse and worse, and then sometimes the worst scenario happens where people feel like they can't be here anymore. So this is my strong urge to people, especially males who feel like they can't talk about mental health. If you're struggling, you're not alone, and you need to get help, because you could go through what I went through and think, no, I'll be fine, I'll sort it out myself. Sometimes you can, with a different mindset and, you know, a complete overhaul, but 9 times out of 10 you need support, whether that be from a doctor, a psychiatrist, friends, family, an antidepressant. Whatever it is, seek that support. So after going through this situation and ordeal and being signed off for another 4 months, I took the massive leap of faith and I left my job, because I couldn't deal with going to work anymore. Because not because I didn't want to go to work, because I didn't like the environment I was in. So I left my job and I got a new job for a finance company working in Cardiff. Obviously I'm from Wales, but I was living in Cheltenham. At this time, when I got over my sort of mental health issues and my tablets had started to sort of help keep everything under control, and I had gone through therapy again, I assessed my whole life in minor detail. And throughout that discussion, me and Gareth decided that we had we had very little support around us in Cheltenham, and our support network was mainly from my family and friends here in Wales. So after a long discussion, we decided to put our house on the market and to find a new house in Wales. So moving was one of the most exciting, scary, and just, I don't know, like I felt a bit lost. I didn't really know what to do anymore. So we found the house that we're now currently living in. That took a lot longer to go through than expected, but I can honestly tell you, finding this house and moving back to my hometown where I grew up saved my life. Because I genuinely think if I had continued working in the company I was working for, living where we were living, I probably wouldn't be here today. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but I've come to that realization that that's how bad things were getting. So yeah, we've been living in this house now since February this year. I've been able to put my interior design skills back to use, designing the house. We've now got 6 dogs, which for me is like amazing. I have 6 dogs. We have a flock of chickens, we have a flock of ducks, not geese, a flock of ducks, and we have some quail. And I honestly can't tell you how different my life is now. It's crazy. The other thing to share is, I said I left my job, my initial job, and went into a finance company in Cardiff. I stayed there for a few months and realised it wasn't working, so I then got a different job in a retail finance company in their complaints department, and after 2 months admitted that finance just wasn't the sector for me. In the meantime of me moving around these jobs, I had actually set up a dog boarding company, quite low-key, and was just looking to start taking a couple of dogs. We had applied for our licence from the council and We're in the process of doing things. We had our license, and I cannot tell you, it exploded. Like, the amount of bookings we were getting, inquiries a day, it was crazy. And after seeing how many people were supporting us, my friends, like local community and people we don't know, I decided that for everything I've been through in my life and in the bad situation I was in, I thought I'm putting myself first from now on, and I left my job completely. And I set up this business, registered it with HMRC, I got an accountant, and it's the best thing I've ever done because I now work for myself. I'm surrounded by dogs all day and I love it. I've managed to grow the business to a place where I'm actually earning more money currently than I was in finance, which I didn't think was possible. And above all, I'm happy. I am so happy. I didn't think I was going to go this deep on this video. I've been literally 12 minutes talking about deep situations. So I think that's a little whistle-top tour of what's been going on since before Christmas last year and before that. And I want everyone to know that everybody struggles at some point, whether it be serious or not serious, and people need to open up. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, check in with people, make sure they're alright, because it is so important. Deed for the day. I'm going to stop talking now and turn this off, but what I'm going to do is post another video. The next video I post after this is going to be maybe an introduction to our new house, because we've done so much to this house. I've got no footage of what the house looked like before, none at all. I can add pictures in from the Rightmove, but I have no footage. But I'm excited to show people what my new house is like. Whoa, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm just so excited to be me again. I am the best version of myself I think I've ever been. I also need a shave because, honey, this Billy Goat scruff is not a vibe. But thanks for coming along. Love you forever and ever. Peace out. Mwah.